Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Mic. Today we have one of the original creators, Radio Voice, Stuck in My Mind podcast, El Jefe, Wize.
What's
Hey,
going
Wize.
on? What up?
Oh, nothing much. Just, what number is this? I don't even know what number this is already, behind the mic, but it's been picking up. It's
I
traction.
don't know. I don't know. I just released episode 160 on my audio podcast. It was actually Wendy Coke, a juicy pear. That's the title because that's the name of her podcast. So yeah,
Okay.
and
She's
then
a
I just
recording.
finished, and now I also since I've transitioned to live, so Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays I go live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn. I go like 8 different places.
Right. Yeah, that's the wonders of StreamYard, right? So for you, okay,
Yes.
Wendy Cox, she's like a original, she's like a returnee. So the difference this time was that she was on your live versus just
No, I haven't done a live with Wendy.
so
Have I?
that's
Did
what's the
I?
difference. I think you did. Didn't you do like you had her before?
No, this is my first time recording with her. Like
Oh, really?
we've yeah, me and Sarah have recorded twice,
Mm-hmm.
but me and Wendy haven't recorded. But we're about to
Oh,
record something for Thanksgiving. We're doing a Thanksgiving
okay.
special.
Yeah, had her way back in the day. Sweet lady, I like her. Okay. Well, so El Jefe is an original creator. He is, like you said, you went from audio like over
I still
to
do. I still do the audio.
yeah.
Well, now I just use the audio from the videos that I record. But yeah, I originally started with audio, then I transitioned to pre-recorded, and now I'm
Live. So what's the
live
difference for you with that? Is there any
with the
like
live.
yeah, is there like any like nervousness or jitters, or is it just
No,
the same?
no. The reason I went live is because I love the audience participation. I love for the audience to interact with the guest. I love when they leave comments, and I actually got that from doing Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Shout out to Brian Snow and Cole Johnson. But they do their show live every day.
Right.
So I saw the interaction with the audience and I loved it. So I just decided that I'm gonna go live. And it's I find it much more fun and it saves me. I don't have to edit anymore.
Very true, very
Video.
true. That's something to think about, but I'm like, yeah, it'll be something that goes wrong or something. I do have a question. Can you hear that fan like a noise in the background?
Yes.
Okay, because I will get rid of that. I have to. Sorry, guys. Behind the mic, and it's got to be just right. But if you were in San Diego, you would know what's up. It's not normal. It went from raining to hell on earth. So here
Hmm.
we are. I think I told you before, Behind the Mic is about more than just you being like a podcaster, you telling us what you do and all that. It's more about people seeing the creator, you know, and how they view the world. It's kind of all been different depending on personalities and stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, with you, I wanted to ask you what is it from where you started and where you are now? Where do you see? Not even just stuck in my mind. Where do you see? Because you have the Real Wise Productions. Where do you see all of this going?
Where do I see it going? I
Or would
see
you
it
want it
going.
to go?
I see it retiring me from my job. That's where I see it
Always been
going.
the goal, right?
Oh, that's the ultimate goal is to be able to do this full time and do this all the. But I can't say I don't do this full time because I do. Because once I get out of work, I come and I start doing production stuff and I edit podcasts and so I have a full time job and I have a full time business. So
Yeah, don't call it jobs. You like this? We don't like jobs.
no, we don't like jobs.
And Poppy been trying to get fired ever since we met him. He gets fired. Oh, good days, good days. All right. So I guess that would cover like because I usually ask, what is your why? Now I could be assuming you might have more. So I know one of your whys would be because you want to retire, but what is your why behind stuck in my mind behind
Well,
um
the reason I do stuck in my mind is because I just love doing it. I love the fact that I'm able to touch people's lives. Uh, the fact that people comment and send messages and tell me like they needed to hear a certain episode, that to me is the most important thing, is to be able to touch people's lives, because it gives me my purpose. This podcasting has given me my purpose. It's shown me that I'm here to help guide people and show people that there's more to life than what society says there is.
That's what's up. I dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it. Okay. So if you could do one thing with your podcast, you could change anything. Let's just entertain it. If there's anything that you could do with your podcast to change one thing in the world, what would that be?
Uh, to show people that it's okay to be nice to each other.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with being nice to each other. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have everyone be happy and be and be prosperous. So
Hmm. Let that soak in, everybody, because it's some real stuff. 'Cause everybody's walking around here tense. I don't get it. I don't get it.
and you know what, it's crazy because the show I just did was the episode was on looking at the world through rose tinted glasses, or how not to look at the world through rose tinted glasses. And it was a great conversation because we got to speak on life, and we got to speak on everything that's going on, and how we need to look within ourselves to change things. Like, I was having a situation at work where me and this dude wasn't getting along, and we just uh, I was being a real jerk, and he was too. But I realized that maybe if I changed how I interacted with him, and changed on how everything was going, that it would be different. Which it was. It was things have improved. Instead of me being at work and being I got to work with this asshole, we're actually joking and talking. And so I had to check myself. And sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes we think it's the other person, but in reality, we need to check ourselves, because it might be something that we're doing wrong.
Yep.
So
Accountability.
I'm willing to admit that sometimes I can be wrong, and in this situation, I just felt that I needed to be better.
That's commendable. That accountability is important. Yep. Yep. That's what I see the world as. Everybody's walking around not taking accountability. They let everybody else business. You did it. You did it. But yeah, that's a good message right there.
No, it is. It's to me for me. It's just that's something I live by. Like I take accountability for my actions. I don't blame anyone else for whatever's going wrong in my life. I know I'm the creator of my life. I'm the creator of my situations. There's some things that are out of my control, but the things that I can control, I do. And if something goes wrong, more than likely it's because I did something wrong. So I'm willing to acknowledge that I play a I play a big part in what I create in my life.
Makes life a lot more easier too. So if you just like let go and accept it, and then people can't say anything. But I took accountability, so I already know. So don't even try it.
It was funny because I don't care what people think. Honestly, I don't. It's their opinion. It doesn't. Their opinion of me, I could care less. I really don't. I can. I'm not here to please anyone. I'm here to live my life, enjoy it with my wife, my family, my friends, the ones that I love. So I could care less what anyone's opinion of me, or opinion of like, I don't judge people. Like for me, I treat people the way I want to get treated.
Exactly.
So if you treat me with the utmost respect, then I'm going to treat you the same way. And that's how I look at it. I don't look at the fact that if you're black, white, green, yellow, it doesn't matter to me. It's just the way you treat me.
Right.
And for me, it's being able to put that energy out. I've been blessed to have a lot of positive people in my life that are willing to help me grow and are willing to help me succeed. So, had I been a negative person or someone who just I don't know selfish or whatever, none of the things that are happening in my life would have happened.
It's that energy attracts, right?
Yeah,
Negative attracts to get that bad vibe shit. Where's my show? I can curse, I guess. I'm not sure. I usually don't, but hey, I said
it
shit.
is. It is your show. It is your show.
That's funny. Oh man, but yeah, that's some real shit right there. That because we're frequent, we're energy, and then there's like frequency, and it's like you attract what you put out, and people just don't really get that. So if they tapped in, they could actually use that and purposely, like you can actually make that work to your advantage where you control it. So
No,
yeah,
you can't. And that's what people fail to realize is that you have control over your life to some degree, and like if you're in a bad situation, some people don't know how to accept responsibility. They're quick fast to blame someone else. They're quick fast to say, "Oh, it's this person's fault that I'm in this situation," instead of looking in the mirror and saying that, "Oh, maybe it's me."
yeah. The hardest thing to do, right? I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Hmm.
one of the hardest thing is to really accept responsibility for your life.
That's crazy. But hey, each one, everybody goes through it. It's about where you're going, not where you've been. If you can get there, then you're onto something.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. It's like people want to dwell on the past. It's. I was stuck for a long time in my past. I was stuck on all the loss and tragedies that I had in my life, and I was blaming. I was just angry because I was like, why am I being punished for all these things? And then I kind of like realized, like, listen, you're upset and angry over things you had no control over. You had no control over the things that happened and transpired in your life, especially when it comes to people passing away and stuff like that. And so when I finally realized that I was angry over something I had no control over, I started getting the help that I needed. I turned my life around. And it was like when I lost my wife at 31, I was just very self-destructive, self-medicating, drinking, sleeping with married women, just didn't give a fuck. And so to be able to turn my life around, and I'm happily married, I have a great career, I have a pretty good career. I have a business that is growing. It's still in infant stages, but it's growing. I'm getting recognition doing the podcast, and I love what I do. So I wish everyone could find something that they love to do because I'm having a great time.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, and that's what you just said, and this is behind the mic, and so also this is something that's just like it's very authentic too. It's always authentic. We don't script stuff. We podcast, but I had meant to bring this up to you. I was watching a show of yours. I forgot who you. If you were on someone's show. I can't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure you were on their show, and that's something I've known you for quite some time now. And met you in family and stuff, but I didn't know that about you. So when I was listening, you had mentioned your wife, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you lost a wife. And then I was like, I don't even know if I meant to bring it up because how do you bring something up like that? But I was watching the show, and that's something that I didn't know. Because you don't really think about it a lot,
when I
right?
first started like, when I first started, I didn't bring it up. I didn't, and then I realized that I have a story. I have something to share that someone might be going through something similar, and to have someone that they can relate to or someone similar to what they've experienced, that I'm doing them an injustice by not sharing it.
Yeah, lesson for me. But sometimes, can you say that sometimes you don't even think about it, like because you're so used to being the person getting the information and stuff that you forget to connect to, right? That's I don't know if people can understand that where it kind of helps people get to understand you better because you're so used to getting information from people that you forget that you're a person too and to bring yourself to the table.
Yeah, no, you know what? To me, it was like I felt that my story is my story. Nobody's gonna care about it. But then when I spoke to someone, they were like, "No, you have a because we really spoke. I really Poppy released his book. Um, you released your book on poetry and all that, and I released something on quotes. But I wanted to work on a book on podcasting. And when I went to Podfest, I spoke to a couple of people, and I told them my story, and they're like, "Yeah, you don't need to write a book on podcasting. If you're gonna write a book, you need to write a book on your life and all the experiences and the things that you went through in your life, because that's gonna be more impact. That's gonna be more impactful and help much more people than a book on podcasting, because there's thousands of books on podcasting. There's people releasing books every day on podcasting, and they felt like my story was something that people might really need in their life.
Yeah, that's profound. And in a way, it's kind of like writing that book on podcasting because you are a podcaster, right? And then it's this podcaster that came out with such a personal book, right? It says something about somebody that podcast. People don't really see what they see. They see just somebody. Oh, you guys doing that thing again? You're on the microphone again, talking again. It's like there's other stuff that goes to it.
Oh, not listen. People think podcasting is easy. They think,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I just got to get behind a mic and talk.
Right.
Nah, like especially if you edit your own podcast, promote your own podcast, do your own thumbnails, do your descriptions, upload it, do all the things. Like being an independent podcast is a full time job.
For real, for real.
It's a full time job.
It's an ongoing thing. You got to keep fresh. Like it's always something. People you got to talk to them. Social media, websites. Who's in the emails? It's like
Everything, yeah.
that's why you got to love it. You have to.
So that's why a lot of people after 7 episodes stop doing it, because they realize it's a lot of work. So yeah, there's 2.5 million podcasts, but how many of those podcasts are really active? How many people are still doing it? And you'll be amazed at the number. It's
Yeah,
less than half, way less than half, like probably like 400 and something thousand podcasts that are active. And when I mean they're active, that means they've released an episode within the last month or so.
exactly. Yeah, I was noticing they were saying that, how every social, what is it, society, what's that, the categories. So what's the one that goes with social, society, and I want to say government. I don't know. Okay, so there's crime, and then there's your education, and there was like four of them that were empty. Like they were saying, they were showing them. This was like this month. Let me say last month. And they were empty, but they were saying that, and it was crazy to me because I thought, but comedy was up there. I thought it would be politics because that's all anybody talks about. But no matter what, it's always comedy up there. Those slots were empty, with crime and all that.
True
Not
crime, true
yeah.
crime is a big thing.
Nobody was publishing that month. They didn't have numbers in there. They went down from the top on down, and you just go on down. And I was just like, But they were saying that's not a bad thing because that's where you can come in. But that's where it was ranking that. But it was just because people weren't pushing anything out for it, right at that time. So maybe that's the percentage that's not, you know.
Just so you know, you're frozen on my end.
What? Cox cable.
Just on my end. I don't know if you're frozen on your end, but on
I'm
my
not.
end, you're
For real,
on
for
my
real?
on my end, you're frozen. But it might not record that way. I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't see it at all. Am
Yeah,
I still frozen?
yeah, you're frozen on my end.
That is crazy. I don't think it's gonna record that way because I don't see it.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Just
But
maybe
you
just
hear
me.
me.
Just maybe it's just me. I hear you. Yeah,
Because usually that's the problem too. But okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna go
Usually
ahead,
you're lagging. Usually you're lagging. Yes.
right, right. I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you, Cox. I didn't really want to do this second plan. At least maybe they had something to do with me not lagging and you can still hear me. So I did say I was
Maybe,
gonna give it a shout out. Thanks, Cox Cable. So
but
let's
maybe you should hardwire yourself too.
yeah, that's another
Eventually,
thing.
that's what you're gonna have to do. Eventually, is hardwire yourself.
To a laptop?
Yeah, you can hardwire your laptop. There's a plug that you plug into your laptop and plug it into the router.
Oh, I think I probably can do that sooner than later. Learn something new every day, every day. Well, we're going to move along here because every episode is different for each because see, this is a journey for me too. Like I've done this before. I got like thousands of podcasts. You didn't know I had one called the Mandela Effect, right? It's been a great time. It's just crazy, right? I can't help it. I like to do podcasts. So then here, and the reason I'm going to tell the listeners, the reason why I'm doing behind the mic is because Wise put me on the spot. See, what had happened was I thought he meant what radio show are you doing? I said I think we should do behind the mic, and then I go look at the schedule on the indie on the behind the international podcast day. Yeah, and I said it's behind the mic, and I said, oh dear, okay. I was like, so no better time than now. I was like, better it'll make you or break you. So
Yeah.
I just did it because you never know. You just gotta just even though I've done it before, this was still different. It was nerve wracking and still something new to me because this one I'm actually Voices of Courage. I was just like, now this one I got a little seasoned, but I'm just like, where is this going? I know my audience is FYI everybody, so I'm just going with it. And each person is different, so I knew for you were going to be different. So I just kind of go with the personality and what I want to bring to the table. Wise doesn't really laugh and smile a lot, guys. Maybe he does, but I don't really think he does.
Ooh, what? I don't
You.
laugh. I laugh and I laugh.
Look at him right now. Look at
You
him.
need to
Okay.
watch my show. You need to watch my show because I'm always laughing and smiling on
Well,
my
yeah,
show. And
there's
it's no
do
matter.
that. But okay, I take it back. When it's me. It's kind of like, how you like your little sister or something, you'd be like, it's not
Yeah.
funny. I am funny. He knows it. Yeah, I am. But anywho, anywho, that being said, so Wise, who would you
You're no
say?
longer frozen, by the way.
I am?
No, you're no longer
Hey,
frozen. Yeah.
that was weird. I don't think it's going to record that way. And if it does, what are you going to do?
You can still hear your voice. Yeah.
It's going to be great audio.
The picture's still there. So yeah. So it's good.
Who would you say? And this is I like this because this is people we know. Who would you say as far as when it comes to I'm just gonna say creativity, who would you say would be somebody that you pull inspiration from or you really admire within the
Oh my man, that's
podcast
simple. My
scene?
man Cole Johnson.
That's what's that.
My man Cole Johnson. He's a dope executive producer. He produces uh promos, intros, and the promos he do be fire, straight fire. And he actually did the intro for me and Poppy J's show on the BS3 network. And I'm actually having him work on my intro for a new intro for Stuck in My Mind. So, and
Okay.
I learned a lot from him as well. So when because so with Poppy J and Wise, we we do segments and we're kind of more structured than I am on Stuck in My Mind. On Stuck in My Mind, it's just more free flowing. I don't really script anything for Stuck in My Mind. Whereas on Poppy J, we actually find topics that we're gonna discuss and stuff like that. But for Stuck in My Mind, it's just more. For me, it's just more free flowing. actually having a great conversation with my guests.
I like that conversation. So you're saying like you've never like you never jotted down a note or like you know how sometimes you just have to take notes so you remember what to cover or you might want to ask that guest a certain question.
Well, yeah, I do. I have Pod. I use Podmatch, and a lot of my guests are from Podmatch, and they got basic questions you can ask them, and I'll ask them like one or two questions from there. But for the most part, we just have real great conversations. Like if you listen to what they say, you actually get questions from what they say.
Right.
So to me, being a good listener is a big part of being a great podcaster
Yeah.
because you have to be able to listen to your guests and you never like there's a question in that answer in that conversation like they might say something so that might lead you to your next question,
Right. Exactly.
so you have to really be a great listener when you podcasting, especially when you interview people.
That's very true. Because that can be like a little nerve wracking because if you're trying to, because you know, some people say, okay, get your questions, yada yada. I've tried that shit before, and I'll write them down, but I never get to read them because I'm not going to be like this, and then it's
Like
just like they don't come
it's
to me.
funny. I laugh when they send me, oh yeah, you can ask them this question, and I'm like, no, no, I'm gonna ask my questions,
Yeah,
and if it's interesting, if it's something, if it's has to do something with what we're gonna discuss, then yeah, maybe I'll do it. But for the most part, no, I don't take kindly to people trying to run my show.
right. Because then it would take away from the whole, like, you know,
And it's taken away from my vibe.
right. And then I noticed they like questions, like authentic questions. Like I like when they always say, "That's a good one." I never been asked that before. That's how you know you're like, bam. Because you don't want to ask them the same stuff like everybody else. You kind of want to make
Of
them a little
course.
uncomfortable, but not like bad uncomfortable. They
No,
get to
no.
moving around their chair. They're like, ooh,
They're like, oh yeah, I needed to hear that one.
right. So that's why, yeah, I like that. Same question. They get bored and they just ready to go to the next one. They're like, yeah, yeah, mm,
So that's why I don't structure my show because they've probably done a few episodes by now, right? And
mm-hmm.
so they've probably been a few podcasters and they keep getting asked the same questions. With me, we're just here, we're having a great conversation, we're laughing, we're joking around.
Right.
And so
They'll remember yours. No.
sometimes.
What would you say? What makes you stand out from any other podcaster? What do you see from yourself that you could say makes you like wise, like stand out from everybody else? If that makes sense.
Uh the fact like one of the things that everybody's when I speak to them, they're like, you're easy to speak to. Like that kind like people be like, it's like they've known me for years or whatever. So for me to be able to make them feel that comfortable with me, where they feel like, man, this dude is cool. This is like someone I've probably would be friends with in real life. So to be able to do that is a talent. It's a skill, man. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can make their guests feel just relaxed. Like
Yeah.
sometimes they're like nervous and stuff like that and all that. But for the most part, by the end of the conversation, I'm like, man, you're really easy to talk to.
Those are the best ones. Because they probably used to, like, what is she going to ask me? Like, oh, you know, or just something. I totally, I get it.
Like the conversation, like the show I recorded today that we did live. Um, she was like, "Oh, so how long is the show?" I said, "Well, 35, 45 minutes, depending on how the conversation goes." And by the time we was done, it was an hour and 25 minutes. So there's those moments where the conversation might just be 35, 40 minutes. And then there's times where you're so into the conversation, you're having such a great time talking to the guests that when you look up, you're like, damn, already
Right?
almost an hour and a half.
Like, you got to let
Like,
them go. Like, oh.
oh man, like so it was cool. It was cool to be able to sit to talk to that person and by the end of it, it was just a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't really dig the word interview, really, to be honest with you, because it sounds so Barbara Walters. Like, so why do you? Why not just come sit down, let's kick
I
it?
gotta still get used to the fact that I'm new media, and the difference between new media and old media is well, at least for me, is I don't have an agenda. Like I
Explain to
don't
the listeners more what that
yeah,
means.
I'm more into inspiring people. I don't want to put fear into people. I rather
Yeah. Oh,
inspire
that's what they
them and
call it.
oh,
That's so. That's what that's so. That's a thing now. That's like a John. Like,
what new media?
yeah, that's what. So it's like basically saying there's an agenda. I
Yeah,
don't want to
well,
offend you, but I don't want to
regular
offend you.
media has an agenda.
That is true. Like we know that,
Regular media has an agenda,
but I didn't know.
whereas
Like,
us podcasters, and I'm when I say us podcasters, I mean the independent podcasters, because
mhm,
not
yeah,
the ones backed by the machine, because they're gonna put out whatever the machine wants them to put out.
yeah, the network.
Whereas me being an independent podcaster, I put out what I want to put out. I'm not. I don't have sponsors telling me what I need to do. I
Right.
don't have a boss telling me, "Oh, you need to talk about this," because I am the boss. This is my podcast. This is so to me. Being part of the media, I still got to get accustomed to it. Still got to get used to it somewhat.
But it's true though. That's why when you get connect to a network, you know that that network is. Why? What's going on with your screen? Did you just put something up?
I don't know what happened on my screen.
I see purple.
Let's see. See if it comes back.
I was like, did he mean to do that? You always be doing some stuff with the tech stuff. So I was like, I don't know what he's doing right now. We
Uh,
have to cut the guys.
I don't know what I'm doing over here. What am I doing? Let's get this back on.
That was weird. And then I thought I saw like glasses, and it's like it was
It
like
just froze. It just froze. I know.
it was like art abstract. Speaking of art, but this isn't about me, so never mind. This is about El Jefe, guys. But if you're still listening, or you are going to be listening because you're not listening now, but you will be because if you came here, you're in the right place behind the mic. And this is Wize El Jefe from Stuck in My Mind. So make sure that towards the end, I'll say it again, and he'll tell you where to follow him at, where you can check his show out, his live, find his audio, and also he'll lead you over to the Real Wise TV and over to the radio and how you can get in contact with us. So if you got a radio voice, you want to test it out, we're taking auditions. Somebody is, I know.
Yeah, we are looking for talent. So I had to switch my camera.
See, I told you, got all kinds of stuff over there.
I had to switch the camera. I don't know what's going on with this camera over here, but oh well.
Techie stuff.
Yeah,
Another
technical
thing,
difficulties, and that's what happens, man. Technical difficulties happen. That's part of life.
yeah. That's how you know you're a true podcaster. Like in the other podcasts that you'll know, because they'll understand. They'll be like, "Oh, I get it," because everybody's been through it. There's like nothing you can do about it.
No,
Just roll with
absolutely.
it. Roll with it.
You gotta
See,
roll with it.
yeah, that whole thing right there just took away. See what happened here? Took away some great stuff I had right here. Let me get it back because this was going to be a good one. Shit, Randy. Okay, let me just keep going and it'll come back because it was a good one. Damn your camera. Okay, so let's carry on. All right, so you have partners, right? In what you do.
Yeah.
You work with this lovely young woman. So I've heard much about her.
Oh yeah, I do. I do. I
She's
do.
a joy. She is a joy.
She can be. She can be. She can be.
So easy to work with.
Sometimes.
Oh come
Sometimes.
on.
Sometimes she can be difficult.
That ain't true.
Really? It's not
No,
true?
that
All
ain't
right.
true.
All
I'm
right.
so laid back. Come on.
Sometimes.
Pleasant all the time.
I didn't
Sometimes,
say you wasn't pleasant.
see?
I didn't. Pleasant, not being pleasant did not come out my mouth. I didn't say that.
I'm very workable with. Yeah. No, now if you put the other guy might have something different to really say. you know, he's a different breed anyway. But
Yeah,
no, really,
he's one of a kind. He's definitely one of a kind.
very, very, very. But no, really about them because that's how's that like for you and your vision and what you do? How has that been coming along? You know, because I know there's like ups and downs. Because you know, I hear and I see that a lot with different people. You know, always there's always going to be something, right? And some people don't get along, or some people have to leave because of this or that. You know, and you were speaking earlier about how you work with somebody and you guys were able to find a commonality. Maybe this is a little different
Well, not
because
not not
together.
that we was able to find a common. It was I was able to just basically just realize that it might the situation might have been a little bit my fault. Like I took the response I took responsibility for some of the things that happened. So when I did that, things changed. So when you start holding yourself accountable for stuff, I'm saying you you look at things differently.
So within your group, like the who you work with, as far as Poppy and then Anthony, I know we're calling him here, aka Anthony Gonzalez. Go get the book on Amazon. And Brandy J. How does that like work for you? Because you know, like a team
Well,
matters,
because
right?
we all have different personalities and we all bring different things to the table. I'm saying, like you said, me, I'm the tech guy. I'm always messing with something new. I'm always learning some new tech, learning something. You're the app whore, and Poppy's just Poppy. He's just
So
he's
like,
just he's the resident author. Um, so
and he
yeah,
don't do no. What does he don't do? He don't do no. I go live. You know, it took him a while before he started calling himself a podcaster.
yep.
I was like, I guess are you a podcaster now?
He didn't consider himself a podcaster for a long time.
That's funny. It's crazy you said that because not Wendy, Sarah had just got in touch with me and asked me about an app, Rumble, and I was like, I'm glad you asked because I had information. I was like, see, that's what I'm telling people, app whore. But I had to change the name, and some people thought it was a great idea that I did that. So I said, okay, so
So
I did.
now I'm frozen. Oh no, I'm no longer frozen. Okay, but yeah, I'm having technical difficulties.
This is good stuff. You know why? Because this is behind the mic, and you're just giving me like mic stuff, and now you're making me see more of like what behind the mic was. Because see, yesterday Phil came on, right, and he brought visuals. I said we're on video, the audio, so it's a video. Bring me something we want to show them. So he brought me like he like was thinking outside the box. He like, showed me I brought some gear he got from a client or something, and then he showed something else. But I was like, oh, so behind the mic. So that was an example of work behind the mic because there's. So I am really seeing where the show is going. See, you're watching greatness happen right before your very eyes. Real life
So yeah,
production.
I finally got I got my camera to work.
Yay!
Yeah, it
I'm
happens.
so excited.
The life of a podcaster, it happens. I've had technical difficulties before. That's part of it. You can either accept it or get upset. I choose not
Right.
to get upset. Why get upset over that? It's life. It happens.
It does. It's true. I used to get upset. I used to cry. I was embarrassed and everything. I just felt like I'm a failure. And then I was just like, I mean, there's more of you, so it's like I'm kidding. I can get any one of you anywhere else. So kidding right now. I'm working on my comedy part because I heard comedy is up there on the charts, so that's what's happening right now. But no, I'm really enjoying like this behind the mic
You know,
stuff.
you know what is what's up there is pop culture.
Yeah.
Like my shout out to the scene snobs. They're killing it right now. Um, uh, what else? Pop coach. Who else is out there? Jeff Dewalskin with Classic Conversations with Jeff Dewalskin. These are shows that I enjoy. These are people I've built relationships with, and they got some great shows. They have some amazing shows. So I'm always supporting my fellow podcasters.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But I'm trying to get up in this comedy stuff. I think I could. We all should. I think I'm about to try something new, y'all. This ain't about me though. It's not about me.
Well, I don't know. I don't. I've been thinking about doing improv. Maybe, who knows, or maybe doing a routine just to step out the box, just
Yeah,
to see where I'm at, and to see to just, if I bomb, I bomb. If I don't, I don't. It's
that's
but
that's,
it,
that's the fun of it.
yeah,
Right? And you can make it work. You can really make that work. Even if you did bomb, you can make it look like you meant to bomb, or that was just what it was.
yeah,
You just can't look like you failed. Like, oh, fucked up. Win some,
definitely.
lose some, right? But yeah. So, why I'm going to ask you one more question. I got two more. Because
All
I know
right.
your time is late. You got to go to work tomorrow.
No, actually, I'm driving to Virginia tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, I got my niece's wedding this weekend, so I'll be going driving to Virginia.
Oh, niece, congratulations. Did I meet her sooner that day, huh?
No, that's Poppy's sister.
Just to get married?
Not just been married.
Oh, oh
His
damn, I was
the
late.
the his the second oldest, which is after him, my niece Anita.
Oh, I gotta start listening in more. I be trying not to act like I'm nosy. They be sitting right there, but I just don't be like,
Yeah, he's not going
why not?
because he's Poppy,
Makes sense.
so he's
He's not
not
all
going.
into that sentimental stuff.
No, he's just they're just not seeing eye to eye at the moment. So
I can dig it. I can dig
I'm doing it because I'm driving my sister. I didn't want her to drive. She was gonna leave Tuesday and stop, and then get rent a hotel, and so this way I can drive for 4 hours or so, and then she could take over, and then we just gotta we'll get there we'll get there tomorrow afternoon. So
it. Road trip.
yeah,
They're the best. Okay. Well, congratulations, sis. Uh, people are still getting married, huh? As you should. See, this is the problem. I'm kidding, but you should get married because that's why we have this uproar that's going on right now. And I think that we need to start to push and show what marriage brings to the table. And that's what I was going to end this out with, Wise, because I always give shots out to wifey, right? Because she's a support system and she supports you, right? Like she's like that one, like she knows what you know what I mean? Like she's a cheerleader, right?
no, listen, if she could have been that wife that been like, dude, you're 40 something years old, why, what podcast, what are you doing a podcast for? No, she saw that I was passionate about it. She saw that I loved doing what I was doing, and she like, what can I do to make this viable? What can I do? So she's helped me start an LLC. She saying so she helped me start building this, and she lets me record. She lets me do what I got to do,
Right,
and so I'm blessed to have someone who has my back and who sees my vision,
right,
who sees that I'm pretty good at it. So she's like, hey, you're generating the numbers, you're getting the views, you get it's taking some time. It's taking some time where, but now it's to the point where I've and some and at least in our circle of friends and podcasters, um, I'm getting recognized. People are
yeah.
enjoying the show, and I'm loving it.
I heard somebody say your name the other day. They was like, yeah, yeah. I was watching it live. And they said, what's stuck in my mind. I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, look at him. But yeah,
It happens. It happens.
right. That's what's up. But yeah, that's what support looks like. People just know that it's not when you say, "Are you still doing that?" Like, you do everything under the sun because people don't look at what we do as like. I don't like to call it a job, but it's important to us. I want to get it done. This is like a real to me. It is going to bring me money. It's not a hobby. It's not a hobby.
No, it's not a hobby. It's definitely not a hobby. I'm already 150, 60 episodes in audio, and now with the video. So when I started pre-recorded videos last September, and probably released 80 or 90 of those, and then the lives I've been doing them for the last 2 months, maybe month and a half, 2 months. So, and that's 3 times a week.
Yeah,
So,
you be spitting them out, spitting out.
yeah,
After being
it's
with Phil last night, I don't know. I might be. He done push some shit out of me. I was like,
nah. Phil, what? Shout out to Phil Better, man.
yeah, feel better. Oop, oop.
I was on his show recently. We had a great time. I actually got to have him on Stuck in My Mind soon. But
He knows his shit.
he does know his shit. And the crazy thing is, he was like, he does it for a living.
Yeah,
But we had such a connection that, like, where if I have a question, I'll shoot him a message,
right.
and we'll link up, and we'll like, yo, set up a meeting and we'll chat or whatever, and we'll talk and all that. And again, like I said, he does it for a living. So for him to actually spend time with me and talk to me and help me, it's just shows you that
Yeah,
people respect what you do,
yeah,
and when they see that you're serious about it, it it's amazing. Like, we deal with a lot of amazing people. Like, some of the people, like when we first started podcasting, we will not, well, at least when I first started, we will not say his name. And so he linked up, and the crazy stuff was he linked a lot of great podcasters together
that are still like
that are
together.
still they're still together in spite of him. And so I was blessed to have meet him, because
Yeah,
without him I wouldn't have met a lot of the people that I met,
we'll give
and
him that.
I wouldn't have, including yourself. So I wouldn't have a lot of the relationships that I have without meeting him. But when you start deciding that you're bigger than the collective, there's a problem. So I'm not bigger than the collective. I'm just me. I'm part of the system. I like, for me, I love supporting my friends. I love sharing their content.
Right.
I love being a part when they need it. Like with Jeff, I love Jeff because Jeff is awesome. He rocks.
Which
And
one?
so whenever Jeff
Both?
Ravilla, Jeff Ravilla, big shout out to Jeff Ravilla. Stuff I never knew. Game show. He's awesome. By the way, I'm a 5-time champions on that. And
Somebody's got to go knock him down. Somebody has to.
I'm a 5-time champion on that show. I've lost twice.
I'm gonna call Jeff.
I've lost twice. but but um but just being able to network with him and do things with him and with everyone else, even Brian Snow, Cole Johnson.
I'm gonna be here tomorrow.
Um,
Yeah.
who, Brian? You gonna have
Mhm.
him on your show tomorrow?
Yep.
Um,
He's
so
supposed to be
yeah,
last week, but I had that show, that bullying thing in Twitter.
mm. Yeah, nah, that's my man. That's definitely my man. But it's a blessing, man. This has been a blessing to be able to find my passion and do what I love to do. I didn't know I had a voice. Like, to me, I sound weird. Like, definitely sound weird. And everybody who listens to me be like, what's wrong with you? Like, you got that voice. You have that radio voice.
Right?
And I'm like, I don't hear it. But to everybody sounds weird to themselves. Like, to me, I don't sound like how you hear me.
Exactly. Because it's like, so they said something about because you're closer or something like. Obviously, we're gonna
I,
sound different. Just
I don't, yeah, I don't know the reason why, but I know the only time I hear myself is when I'm actually listening to a recording.
right.
Then I hear what you hear. But when I'm speaking right now, I don't hear what other people hear. I hear something completely different. So, but when I go listen back to the recording, I'm like, oh, okay, that is my voice. I do have a voice. So yeah.
I don't like mine. After I hear it, I'm like, oh my god, just turn it off. Turn it off. I don't like it at all. And that's the crazy thing. Before we go, that those girls that I've been talking to, these group of women, They really want to do this, but I'm like, okay, let's see. So I've been taking them on a tour, like a little trip. Let's go and see if this is what you want to do. But one of them doesn't want to hear herself. And I'm like, well, you're gonna have to talk. So she's like, I don't
You
want
just
to
can't be.
say my
You can't
name.
just be standing there. Yeah, you just can't be sitting there and like
Right? She said, I don't
looking
have to
pretty.
say my name every time the show come on. I was like, honey, you're gonna have to say your name because you might have new listeners, so you're gonna have to say your name.
They don't
Because
know
I
who you
told her,
are. Yeah.
right. But if you don't like it, look, just get a voiceover, record it, let it rock, or get a voiceover, and then you don't have to do it. So I just gave her reasons to keep going versus like to not do it. Because that's the reason why she hasn't, because her voice.
But why would you? Okay, so if you don't want to do it, like you want to, you want to do a podcast, but you don't want to hear yourself. Like that makes no sense to me. How are you going to do a podcast, and how are you going to speak? So
Yeah, that's why I've been like inviting her. Like when I do a room or a live or a breakout or something like that, I'll invite her, and she always engages and she talks. But I figure that like help her, and then it's always a recording, and so then I always let her listen. And it's like the more you do it, the more you listen to yourself, like it or not, you know.
it's like anything. With the more you do it, you're going to improve.
Yeah,
It's only logic that the more you do something, you're gonna get better with time. Like with me, I feel with every episode I'm improving. So this last episode was better than the previous one, and that previous one was better because with every episode you're improving, you're learning, you're having. Even though I've been having some great episodes, like these lives have been great. Like having Alex Sanfilippo on, who's the creator of Pod Match and an amazing guy. Having Bob Doyle on my show was a blessing, and it was a awesome feeling because this is someone I looked up to. This is someone I I read his book. I follow him.
oh, you seen him at the thing, huh? At the
No, I no. He Bob Doyle is crazy because he reached out to me. His peoples reached out to me and was like, Bob Doyle would like to be on your show to promote his. And I was like, hell yeah, hell you like. This is Bob Doyle I'm talking about. This is The Secret. This is someone who contributed to the documentary and the book The Secret. So, and I've read it and I've seen the documentary numerous times.
he had no idea that you like was like a fan.
No, because I don't know. Well, because yeah, I guess because I talk about manifestation and I talk about goal setting and stuff like that. So it fit with what he wanted. My podcast fit with what he wanted to promote, with what he wanted to talk about. So yeah, he knew what I told him I was a big fan, and this was cool. This to me was an amazing day because again, this is someone I looked up to.
That's what's up. That's a like a jewel when you can talk podcast or have somebody in your show that you've always like wanted to meet or you respect or you're like, oh my goodness. So
Yeah,
yeah, that name we not shall not say. I got to do that twice. That name, but yeah, that was
yeah.
dope. So yeah, now I just got to get Punky Brewster, Soleil Moon Frye. I was this close to getting her. This close. She was in somebody's building. You guys know who Punky Brewster is? Don't be
Yes,
asking.
I know who Soleil Moon Fry is.
You want me to sing the
Yes.
song before we go out? You want me to take
No,
you?
no,
No, you
let's
sure?
not. Let's not.
I can do
No,
that for
no,
your show.
let's
Okay.
not. Let's
Okay.
not. Let's not do it.
This is behind the mic.
I know. So
We're behind the mic.
let's not do
Oh
it.
wait, fine. I'll find somebody else that lets me. How do you get on your own show?
What do you mean?
How do I get on behind the mic? I've never wanted to be on my own show. I was like, I want to do it behind the mic. I just do it, right? I can't do my own. I need somebody to be
You need somebody to host behind the mic for you and interview you.
possibly. I wonder if that's a thing. I'm going to ask people. Like, have you
Okay,
ever
I guess I
wanted to be
could
on
take
your own?
over behind the mic and interview you for behind the mic. How
Have you ever
about
wanted
that?
to be on your own show?
I'm on my show every day.
You know what I mean, though. Like, you want to be like that
I share
person.
my
That,
story on my I share my story on my show.
this is the thing, Wise. We're going to make this a thing. This is a question for all podcasters. Okay, go with it now. And then they're going to go. They'll be
I'm
like,
on my show every time I'm there.
but you're the host. Like, they don't see
Well,
you.
it's
Like,
not technically. I don't look at it as that way because I look at it as it's me and my guest show. And
true.
now since I'm live, it's me, my guest, and my audience show.
But I don't get to talk about myself on behind the mic. That's rude.
I get to talk about myself on Stuck in My Mind.
That would be rude and selfish.
No,
Because it's
because
about them.
some people need to, maybe my guests need to know where I'm coming from.
Hmm,
Like the guest
maybe.
today, I had to tell her my story, and she
Depends.
was cool. She's like, "Oh man, that's so." Yeah, it was sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna need somebody to host it, okay? Because I need to talk about some
why
things.
don't you have Poppy host it? How about that? No, because he don't interview people. He doesn't know how to interview people.
And if I cry or something, because I have a moment, I'm like, and he's gonna end everything. It's like, oh shit, she's crying and that crying shit. I'm like, this is
Yeah,
me. It's nothing to do with you. So yeah, that'll be no. We have understanding wise. We don't do shows alone with each other. I'm kidding. No, that's my boy. I love him.
yeah.
But guys, thank you so much. I had fun. How about you,
Yeah.
Wise? Thank you for
Oh
coming.
yeah, I get to talk. So yeah,
Isn't it always a joy? I know, right?
it's
Yay.
always a pleasure to be a guest on somebody else's show because that means I don't have to do all the work.
Right. No, I'm gonna send it over to you. So I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be crazy if I did that shit? I'm like, here's the recording. Spruce it up like you do. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. It's got a lot
Mm.
going. But I had to have you on here though, like because I'm not gonna lie to you. I really brought him on because of his radio voice. So like that was a no brainer. Like behind the mic, gotta have the voice. So that's what got you on here actually. So
My
you're welcome.
voice, yeah,
Yeah, that's what it was. But no, no, really, it's I had to, because I seen, well, I seen some of your journey. I've seen a lot of it and stuff, and I know for a fact how you feel about podcasting. I can tell anybody hands down what it is. So definitely had to have you on, and thank you for actually getting on that calendar and getting in here. So it's been a pleasure with everybody that's coming on here. I'm having a really good time with behind the mic, and
it's good.
yeah.
I just got to tell you something. That you got to fix that background though.
What about that? I'm not even supposed to be in here, but what about it?
You need to fix it. Like you need to
You,
fix it so that behind the mic can be seen.
what do you mean?
Like it's cut off on the top
Oh, you meant the background, like on the screen?
on the screen. Yeah,
I never paid attention to that.
yeah. You got to improve the presentation a little. That's just me.
I never looked at it before because I
That's
wanted to
just
change it. I'm
yeah.
gonna.
You might want to hook it up a little bit different. Like you might want to make sure the lettering is a little bit lower down.
It don't
That's
look like
just
that on the
me.
other screen though.
That's just me.
Well, can I do it on? We'll figure it out. You're just gonna do this shit right on the show, huh? Just behind the mic. You're just
No,
gonna put
go
me
to
on the
Canva.
spot.
Go to Canva and fix it. That's it. I'm sure you did it on Canva, so just go to Canva and fix it.
Can you believe this, guys? That's classic Wise. Welcome.
Hey, listen, I gotta.
What was that thing?
I wouldn't be a friend if I didn't tell you.
That was him. He traumatized me. What was that noise I used to make? That shit. Like, what's that noise you make? He gave me a whole impediment, a whole insecurity, y'all.
I did not give her whole insecurity. She
What was the
just,
noise?
I can't remember.
It was like,
It was a clicking sound or something you used to make.
that's crazy.
And then you finally realize, like, oh shit, I am making some fucking noise.
And that's when he was like really like starting like editing for real, and he just thought he just knew every motherfucking thing. He was like that noise, and that over there. I was
So
like,
that's what happens when you edit, though. When you start listening to when you edit podcasts and stuff like, you hear everything. You start hearing. Even when I watch TV now, like when I watch interviews and stuff, and I look at them and I listen to them, and they're like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so yeah,
yeah, I did that because I catch myself doing that too. Like, oh my god, sometimes you gonna say that shit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's perfection. But thank you, El Jefe. So can you do our listeners a favor and let them know where they can find everything? Wise.
You can find Stuck in My Mind podcast on all major platforms. Check out the YouTube channel, Stuck in My Mind podcast. Go check out Real Wise TV. We have Poppy J and Wize El Jefe on there. We have Brandy's show, or about all 25 million of them. Um, check out Real Wise Productions. Brandy actually did the website. And go check out realwiseradio.com.
Yes. Well, guys, that will be all because people got to get some rest. But until next time, And I'm perfecting everything, intros and all that stuff. So I'm happy to have you guys on the journey to watch it grow. Good night to all. Your girl, Buddy J, and behind the mic, peace.
So.